you had a good weekend and are ready to leap back into programming. In this segment, we're going to learn about the break and continue statements. Now, using break and continue, you can alter the behavior that we've already seen in loops. You can immediately exit a loop with the break statement, or you can jump directly to the top of a loop with continue. These aren't always the best ways to work with loops, but sometimes they do come in handy. Now, to demonstrate these, we're developing the finicky counter program. This program counts from 1 to 10 in a while loop, but it doesn't like the number 5. That's why it's finicky. So it skips over the number 5. Let's see how to do that. We've got our new document, and I'm going to go ahead and save it before I even start, and create a new folder for week 4. And I'm going to save this as finicky_counter.cpp. And I'll begin. Finicky counter. This demonstrates break and continue statements. Okay, first thing I do is include IOStream and give a directive that we're using the std namespace. And then we open our main function. I'm creating an integer called count, and I'm going to set that to 0. And I'll have while true count plus equal 1. This will take the current value of count and add 1 to it. Okay, this next bit of code will end our loop if count is greater than 10. And let me take out that extra O there. All right, this is going to be an if statement. If count is greater than 10, break. That break will completely exit the loop. It'll stop the loop from continuing. Now we want to put in code that will, excuse me, skip the number 5. And this is another if statement. If count is equal to 5, continue. Once those tests are done, we want to see out count and the end line, and that's the end of our while loop. We return 0 and close our main function. Okay, so that's the code for the finicky counter. Now I set up my loop with while true. Okay, technically this would create an infinite loop. Nothing can ever make the condition false, so the loop would run on and on forever. Now in this case though, that's not really a threat because I have a break statement as soon as count is greater than 10. And break exits the loop and goes on to whatever code comes after that while loop. The second statement here, if count is equal to 5, continue. What this does is it bypasses the rest of the loop, the cout line, and just skips back to the top of the loop, to the top of our while statement. So as soon as count is equal to 5, we skip back up to the top, we add 1 to count, we do our test, we do our other test, and then we print out the count. You can use this break and continue statement in any kind of a loop, but you should only use them sparingly. Since they show up in the middle of your loop, they can make it harder for other programmers to see and then understand the flow of a loop. So let's go ahead and watch this in operation. Go ahead and compile our finicky counter program. Well, that's a problem. Okay, so the error that we saw a minute ago was because I forgot to do something really important. Save my file. So now I've saved it, and I can compile it. And go ahead and run it. So we can see I go 1, 2, 3, 4, then I skip 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the loop ends. So that is the break and continue statements. Like I said, they do make it harder for other programmers to see and understand the flow of your loop. So you should really only use these if you absolutely have to.